This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
The stakes have never been higher. The competition has never been stronger. 42 drivers, 25 rounds. One will be crowned champion. Competition. Commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. You're watching the premier American Open Wheel Series on iRacing. The Lionheart IndyCar Series presented by First Medical Equipment starts now.
Sponsored by First Medical Equipment. Competition, commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. Well, the milk has been drunk and Andrew Kinsella is a Lionheart Indy 500 champion. After that, it was time for real world brats and corn on the cob as the annual Lionheart meetup took place at the Iowa IndyCar race. You know, between 45 and 50 Lionheart drivers, friends, and family members all gathered at the track to watch Lionheart regular Sage Karam take on the best the NTT IndyCar Series had to offer and create memories to last a lifetime. But now, our attention turns back to the virtual universe because from Barber Motorsports Park, this is the Global Sim Racing Channel's live as it happens coverage of the Minus 273 Grand Prix at Barber, round 13 of 24 on the Lionheart IndyCar Series 2019 Championship campaign. And all the simulated Dallara IR18 racing action from green flag to victory donuts streams your way right here on the iRacing Esports Network. Big wheels keep on turning, carry me home to see my kin, singing songs about the Southland. I miss old Bammy once again. Hello and welcome to another GSRC broadcast and the Sim Experience Countdown to Green. Over the next 15 minutes, GSRC will bring you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to appreciate the Minus 273 Grand Prix of Barber that will immediately follow as we indeed count down to green. Way up in the booth to bring you our Word's Eye View, former real-world IndyCar driver Richie Hearn, joined by yours truly, Bill Soupson. I'm Jet Yaman, as director duties armed with cameras locked and loaded by Dougie Beard. Richie Barber is back on the Lionheart IndyCar schedule after it was last run back in Season 3. So since it's been a while, how about a little refresher course about this place?
Yeah, thank you, Soup. And here we are at Barber Motorsports Park, located just outside Birmingham, Alabama. I've never been to this track, but I hear it's a beautiful facility, very well maintained. It is home of the largest motorcycle museum in the world, as the Guinness Book of World Records puts it. We got 17 turns, 2.38 miles to conquer here today. It's very wide, but it's very hilly. Not a lot of straight sections. You see a little bit on the map there. But probably the best way for you guys to see what it's really like is to jump on board that GSRC lap guide.
All right, we've got Liam Quinn in the GSRC IR18, so let's do a lap around Barber. Down into turn 1, it's surprisingly tough to get a pass on here, but also very easy to run wide. The track immediately swings back into the Alabama roller coaster, which is a long, multi-apex right-hander with plenty of elevation change. Get to the power confidently, and then you're going to be holding it flat out through the kink of 4. In Charlotte's Web, the track drops away from you drastically in the braking zone, so don't get too greedy when diving in. Bleed back onto the throttle, and now we head back towards Museum Corner. Sometimes you can get an overtake done here, but you'll want to be single file by the time you're into this chicane. It's narrow, falls steeply downhill, and can cause a nasty tangle if you're still too wide. At the bottom, you're now on the back half of the course, which includes a series of quick chicanes. The first set is flat out, but be wary of the wake from the car ahead if you're following closely. After that, there's 12 and 13, which takes you over a blind rise on entry, then a harsh compression, and suddenly another rise right as you're trying to find the power. A lot of drivers spin it or slam into the barriers here. Now we swing the car through 14 and 15, where you'll have to be braking and turning. A very late apex is the best approach because you need the widest line possible through the final turn. Avoid dipping your wheels in the grass on the exit, and hopefully you've now finished a lap around Barber.
And there we have a lap around Birmingham Motorsports Park in that GSRC IndyCar. As you can see, it's very wide and flowing, but it does make it difficult to pass. A couple of key spots would be turn 1 and turn 5, but everywhere else you're kind of moving back and forth. The Countdown to Green is brought to you by the Sim Experience, the team behind the AccuForce Pro V2 direct drive steering systems. By providing unparalleled realism and the most advanced tuning features on the market, the AccuForce provides a significant advantage to any sim racer. It can also make for an effective training tool for real-world drivers. For more information on the entire Sim Experience ecosystem, including their GS5 seat, Stage Series motion systems, and SimVibe software, visit www.simexperience.com and use that promo code SimXLion to get 5% off your next order of SimVibe software.
Thank you, Richie. All right, let's take a trip through the point standings right now, and these driver standings come presented by First Medical Equipment. You know, Dan Guerin, if you're going to have a bad race, you don't want to have it on a double points day. He finished 28th at Indy, and he falls considerably farther behind Adam Blocker, who remains in the lead, and he ups that gap considerably with a second-place finish at Indy. Interesting enough, by the time bonus points were awarded and penalty points were subtracted, our Indy 500 winner, Andrew Kinsella, only gained 7 markers on his teammate, Adam Blocker, despite winning the event. Now, if you look at that one, you can see a lot of drivers going up 5, down 4, up 5, a lot of jumping around, and that's kind of the nature of the beast when you have a double-point event. Things should settle down a little bit as we start to work into the back half of the season. Let's go ahead and look at the team championship here. This was all Adrenaline Motorsports. They're up in front, and my goodness, they had a very good day. And Andrew Kinsella got the win. Adam Blocker was second, and Brian Carey chipped in 20th points. Points for 20th position. Get it out of there, Soup. You got it. And you can see that team, Adrenaline Motorsports Red, really increased their lead. A couple other guys to talk about. Loud Pedal Motorsports Cancer Down was second. A good day also for 8-Ball Motorsports. They were up a spot thanks to Justin Weavers was in third and Michael Goodman was in fifth. And, of course, these team championships come your way thanks to Plasma Tracks. Richie, what do you got for the rookies?
Well, I have the Rookie IndyCar Series standings presented by Butt Kicker. And as you can see, the top 3 positions hold steady ground with Martinez in the lead, Sage Karam in second, Hill in third. But we do have a mover up with Brian Carey moving up to 4th and Rigney moving up to 5th, George Sandman moving down to 6th. But even though these guys are moving around, you can see it's pretty tight because all the way down to 7th spot, it's only 76 points. So as we said at the beginning, this championship is going to go all the way down to the end. And I think this is going to be the one to really watch for.
It is indeed. When drop races start to be accounted for, you're going to see Sage Karam move up not only in the rookie standings, but in the regular points as well. He's had to miss a couple races. Of course, he wasn't able to race the last few. He was busy out in the real world. You know, the best of the best in the iRacing World Championship, as well as many top private leagues like the one you're watching right now, are showcased right here on the iRacing Esports Network. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you subscribe. GSRC is proud to be part of the IESN stable of broadcasters. And the Lionheart Series is one of the premier fixed setup racing leagues for the Dallara IR18 on the service. The Lionheart IndyCar Series honors the memory of the late Dan Weldon. Additionally, this event in particular honors the memory of former Lionhearter Patrick Taylor, tragically taken suddenly and much too early. The Lionheart community, GSRC, and IESN are thankful for this opportunity to express to the Taylor family that despite the passage of time, Patrick is still remembered. Now, Patrick was a big part of the Lionheart League. I can't help but wonder how he would feel about this next segment. The always informative and sometimes entertaining Professor Lugsnuck's Setup Corner. Professor, what do you got?
Peter, I honestly think the Steel Wheels tour was the Rolling Stones at their best. Oh, wheels! Oh, Soup, we're talking about wheels. Steering wheels specifically. You know, this season we've gone into depth about a lot of items on this car, the Dallara IR18. You know, one of the more important things of the car has very little to do with actually setting this car up, the mechanics of the car, if you will. It's the wheel, the steering wheel on this car. It's made by Cosworth Electronics. It gives the drivers basically all the information they need within a race to control the car, to make any adjustments that may be needed. Now, this is a fixed setup here in the Lionheart IndyCar Series, so they won't be making many adjustments from the wheel, but they have a real big amount of data that they can look at there. The wheel tells the drivers what the fuel map may be on the car. Again, really can't adjust that here, but where the weight jacker may be. Again, not something you really can adjust on a Lionheart IndyCar. Push to passes, though. It will allow them to keep track of that on the road courses when we have them. Lap time, gap to the car ahead and behind, what gear they're in, the speed, the RPMs, the fuel remaining, the number of laps to go, oil pressure, oil temperature, water temperature, fuel pressure. Do you get it? It's a bunch of stuff. All of this and more on a small 7-inch screen about the size of a small tablet. Now, in iRacing, the driver can toggle between two preset screens that give the driver this information in real time. However, in the real world, the wheel, the drivers design them. They're fully customizable. And listen, the grips on those wheels, in the real world, those drivers had those custom made for their hands. So really, really high-tech stuff. But they've got to steer the car with these. So that's the main function of the steering wheel. It's got to be comfortable. And, well, again, they've got to be able to make it turn. There you go, Soup. The steering wheel.
Thank you, Professor. Director, I'm going to go a little bit off script. Can we bring up the image again of the professor and the wheel he was holding there? One of our sponsors today is Sam Maxwell Customs, and they'll make a wheel any way you want it. If you're watching from Sam Maxwell, I would like my wheel to look kind of like that. I'd like those things sticking out. I think I could be really effective with that style. Thank you, Professor. Let's get down to more serious stuff now. Richie, how about we talk about the race details?
Yeah, and these series details come to us thanks to Minus 273, the premier name in karting gloves. For more information on Minus 273's full line of gloves and apparel, visit www.273.biz. Use promo code LHRS for 25% off your orders. And here we are, your series details. We are in Season 7 of the Lionheart IndyCar Series, working around 13 of 24, so a long ways to go still. You got 3 driver drops that we will calculate in later on in the season. We're using the Dallara IR18. And as he mentions, the setups are fixed. They are adjusted a little bit to make the cars a little more drivable. And we're also working on cash and prizes totaling $9,652.
Let our director put up the tower. You can see the qualifying's going on right now. While that's up, Richie, how about the weather? What's it look like out there in Alabama?
Well, we're working mostly cloudy there. It's not too bad, 73 degrees, but you can see that 90% humidity, which is not the most fun in real life. The track's 90 degrees with a little bit of wind out of the northwest, so track's pretty cool considerably. So it shouldn't be too much of an issue, but I think those tires will take a little bit of a beating as we get through this race.
All right, we got through all of the bookwork, and as we do, I believe all of the drivers have gotten through qualifying as well, as there's nobody out on the track. You can see sitting at the top there was Adam Blocker. Sage Karam is back. Welcome back, Sage, as he sits second. Nice field here today. We had 30 drivers able to put in qualifying time. Looks like there was another 6 that did not. Some of them probably weren't able to get in a clean lap. Some of them might be serving themselves a penalty. Glad to have you with us. With that done and the qualifying all over, let's go to the grid right now. Richie, how about we take it a row at a time? We got plenty of time here. On the front row, on the pole, it is Adam Blocker. He's going to be flanked by real-world IndyCar driver. Good to have him back. It's Sage Karam. Richie?
Starting third is going to be Dan Guerin, looking to get a little bit better finish than he had at Indy. Right next to him will be Justin Weaver.
A man who likes to be on a road course, George Sandman, in fifth. He is going to be cited by a guy not as comfortable on a road course, Andrew Kinsella. Still pretty good, though.
Yeah, pretty good spot for Andrew. So right behind them in position 7 is going to be Michael Goodman, and in position 8 will be Tyler Groff.
Brian Yazik sits in 9th position with Brian Carey, not spelled the same, in 10th.
Position 11 is going to be Connor Harrington, and right next to him will be Steven Larkamp.
In the Baker's dozen position, it's David Altman. He's going to be flanked by the Candyman, Dustin Wardlaw.
Starting 15th is going to be Brian Beard, and 16th will be Damon Martinez.
Joe Branch and James Brandt make up the next row.
19th is going to be Jason Galvin. 20th is going to be Chris Lanini.
Bob Mikas hits blackjack today in the double duck spot. It's GSRC's own Samuel Ryman.
Starting in 23rd will be George Anzaldo, and 24th will be Brandon Limkerman.
He went most of the season without an incident. He's picked up a few since then. John Hill sits in the quarter-century mark. He is going to be cited by Scott Bolster.
27th, Paul Jenkins, and 28th, Ron Hacker.
The man who has no last name, Big Joe Hazard, sits in 29th spot. Brian, it's not easy being Greenlee. It's outside of him.
The rest of these drivers, I'll just go through them. Didn't put in a time or have a penalty. We got Tony Schoen 31st, Mike Belair in 36th, Bart Workman, 32nd, 33rd, Isaiah Dupree, and Mike Rigney and Ken Hacker.
There we go. Those drivers that don't put in qualifying times sometimes get shuffled around a little bit, as we have a couple different timing and scoring charts to look at. Cloud passing over, you can see the overcast sky that these guys are racing under as we wait for everybody to take their spots on the grid. You see a few vacant sections down in there, everyone getting ready. Tightening up their belts, taking that last sip of drink, kissing the spouse for one final time before they go racing here. As we start to get close to the back half of our season. As usual, we have onboard cameras, so let's take a look at those. Bob Mike is going to have one on board as he races in his number 17. He's racing with the Sam Maxwell custom onboard camera. Steering wheels for the serious sim racing enthusiast, SamMaxwellCustoms.com. Adam Blocker finished second last time out at Indianapolis. He's got one of the two -273 onboard cameras. Durable, breathable, lightweight racing gloves. www.-273.biz. And our other onboard camera is, again, another -273 machine. Don't forget to use promo code LHRS for 25% off your -273 order. And what better testimony to that product than to have my booth partner, a former real-world IndyCar driver, and owner of a pair of those gloves. You like those, Richie?
Oh, yeah, I love them. And if I had a camera, I'd take a picture of them. They are super comfortable, and I recommend them for everybody.
Outstanding. All right, the field works its way down into corner number 8 and 9. Called the corkscrew. Don't be confused. We are not at Laguna Seca. There is indeed a corkscrew here. Out of 9, they work their way up through 10 and 11, what we call the S's, heading down to the tunnel.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun to drive. Has a great flow. You can drive right over to the top of those curbs. But it is busy, so there's not a lot of resting out there, so you're constantly moving back and forth, so it should be a pretty exciting race.
As they come around, we'll talk about pit stops and how far we're going in a minute. One thing that is interesting here at Barber is the pit lane. Kind of an interesting location as you get to it on the outside of the track, exiting one of these corners coming up.
Yeah, it's a little tricky getting into it because you come into it super fast, and then it tightens way up and narrows. So it's really easy to make a mistake and have a wreck. And there's the pit entrance right there.
Got ourselves a new pit car driver, the San Bernardino, California native and eternally fascinating Francis Boo Miller. Points the pace car toward pit lane, turning control over of the field to Adam Blocker. Competition, commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart, and Blocker leads the Stampede down into the first corner.
Yeah, nice clean start there for the first half of the field. But everybody gets into single file as they lead on to that backstretch towards turn 5. This is probably the best passing part of the track, as Sage is going to try to go around the outside, and Adam's going to have none of that.
Karam working left and right behind Blocker, like the eyes on a cat clock, trying to find the way around the leader.
And he does make it happen. Boy, that's tough there to make that happen. You got to commit to it as they go into the corkscrew, but he does take the lead. I don't know if Adam just kind of let him have it as it's early on in the race, but that was a power move by Sage.
Another passing opportunity right here, though. There's a lot of action on the first lap, but they don't get it done through the tunnel. I can report that everybody looks pretty clean so far as they start to single file out. Boy, the field is really stretching out.
Yeah, it looks like everybody's taking pretty easy here at the beginning, kind of feeling their way around. Once again, it is tough to go side by side in some of these corners, even though it is wide, but it looks like everybody's had a clean first lap.
Ken Hacker way behind the field in 34th. Not sure if he had an incident or if he just started. But we work. The first lap is complete, and we have a pit stop coming in. Oh, it looks like Altman has to come in and get some repairs as he's missing his nose. Now the question is, Richie, will Karam run away with this, or will Blocker be able to stay with him?
Now they're pretty much tied, pretty much right on each other in practice time. So right now it looks like Adam's going to stick with him a little bit. There's going to be a little bit of strategy, try to save your car a little bit farther to the end, maybe do the undercut and the pit stops. But Sage is pretty aggressive, so he's going to drive 100% the whole way.
Don't need to go there. One of our big movers so far, Bart Workman, up about a half dozen spots, racing in 26th. We'll keep an eye on him and see if he can continue that charge through the field. Oops, somebody had an off. It looks like, let's see if I can figure out who it was. Nope, not catching it. Caught it out of the corner of my eye. See that the spots are remaining pretty static. If you look at that tower there to the screen left, everybody pretty much holding position.
You see Adam Blocker put in the fast slap there just a second ago, so he's not letting him get away. He's just going to let him do his thing and probably follow him around, but they are starting to gap themselves to Dan Guerin holding third spot, but they got a 1.5 second lead on him already.
We look at the two leaders. They do begin to pull away. 1.8 seconds from Blocker back to Dandy Dan Guerin. Guerin sits second in the points. Has got to start finishing ahead of Blocker now as we work our way into the second half of the season.
Pretty much the top 6 or 7 guys all holding steady. We did have Connor Harrington move a couple spots from 11th to 9th, and Michael Goodman dropped from 7th to 10th, so a couple spots lost there, but everybody up front holding steady.
Can we go ahead and put the hammer on car in 33rd position, number 88? This is David Altman. He brought the car back out on track. He is well off the pace right now, and everyone trying to go around him. This includes the driver that Richie was just talking about, Connor Harrington. It'll be fun to watch Connor work his way through the field. That's kind of what he does. Hopefully he can get there without a problem. But now Altman is really in it as he got Michael Goodman and Stephen Larkin both hungry to get around.
Yeah, I don't know if he's just trying to just get up to speed and let everybody by, but he is a little bit off the pace there.
Went in for repairs. The pit crew sent him right back out in the thick of it. That's not fun. I've been there.
Meanwhile, up front, those two leaders have gapped Dan Guerin even more. It's almost 3 seconds, so It's really a two-horse race at the moment.
And you can see behind them, Garrett's not even in the screen. Garrett has no pressure as well, as he's opened up about a minute, about a second on Weaver. Oh, we got a big problem. Tony Schowen involved in an incident. This is right out of the final corner. It was Isaiah Dupree. They're not going to be able to bury Isaiah in a Jewish cemetery because he got tattooed. Watch this car. Isaiah gets T-boned here. We look at Schowen. Isaiah's going to be parked. There he is. Oh, no. Oh, no. Bam.
Oh, wow. That's a big hit. That's a blind corner. Really tough corner as you're coming around there fully loaded on the left side, and you're kind of committed to that position. So as you can see on board here, he doesn't even see that car stopped until it's too late.
That's when you're glad it's only sim racing with an SIM in front of the racing. Let's check back in on our leaders real quick. We're looking at them right now. We're riding on board with our point leader racing second on the track right now, Adam Blocker.
Yeah,
Richie, we were wondering if Sage was going to be able to pull away.
Yeah, he's not going to be.
No.
He's not pulling away, and I have a feeling that Adam's just kind of cruising, maybe saving a little bit fuel in here and there. He's not really pushing the issue, but he's put in another fastest lap of the race, so he's able to keep that going. The other good battle is between George Sandman and Andrew Kinsella in 5th and 6th. There's a big gap between Weaver and Sandman. Sandman's got a whole train of cars with Andrew right behind him. He's been trying pretty hard to get by him.
You see there the lap analysis between the two cars up front. Blocker getting the best of it. This is good right here. This is Andrew Have-A-Catch Kinsella. Coming off a win at Indy. George Sandman, we keep waiting for him to have one of those Sandman positions. Martinez has had a problem. He spun it all by himself and then just taps the rear wing on the wall right in front of Brian Beard and Dustin Wardlow.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's going to have to sit there and wait for everybody to go by before he can continue, so he's going to go right to the back of the field. Doesn't look like he really did any damage, but he's going to be way back.
I thought he might be able to get away with this one, but by the time the car looped around and then rolled back into the wall, he's going to pick up a little bit of damage. All right, if the drivers will cooperate and settle down a bit, let's go ahead and look at our race analysis, find out how far we're going, how far can we go, as we are racing here at Barber. There you see, 53 laps are scheduled. They can go 21, so we're looking at 21:42. Looks like a two-stop race here today, and I don't think we're going to have any questions about how many stops these guys are going to need to take. You can see the incidents and the disqualifications below that.
So they, like you said, they usually fib on that a little bit. We'll see if it's 21 laps or 22 or 23. I think with the way this track plays out, where it's tough to pass, passing him in the pits is the easiest way. So I think if Adam can save a little bit more fuel, you have a little shorter pit stop, you might be able to jump Sage on that first pit stop.
The good news for the commentators in the booth is that nobody's going to be able to stretch it into one spot. We're going to take a look at Brian Limkeman. There's Brandon. Oh, has a little bit. Hang on there as he almost got into Ansaldo. Goes over the sand trap, brings the car back out. Hopefully didn't get any undercarriage damage.
That's that section where we had the other incident. Like I said, that's a tough part of the track because you're coming up there so fast and it's kind of blind and you're loaded up, and it's really easy to kind of miss the edge of the track there and just kind of wander out into the grass.
They're working lap number 10. So far, it's been a two-car battle, Karam and Blocker.
Yeah, not much happening up front. They've opened up a huge gap to Dan Guerin, though, so that's surprising. So it really is a two-horse race. They're 4.3 seconds ahead of Dan Guerin, who's kind of he's got Justin Weaver creeping up to him. But really the big battle is going to be George Sandman. He's kind of gapped Andrew a little bit, but there's a whole train of cars back there looking to make something happen.
Let's go ahead and check in. I've been talking about this driver. Let's go ahead and look at Bart Workman. I believe he is back in 22nd position. He is up 10 spots. Now, yeah, I know he didn't qualify, so this really doesn't count. But nevertheless, having a good run, and he is in the mix of it right now. He is on the back of Scott Bolster. John Hill watching on from the popcorn position as they battle for 21st. It's a 5-car train. The last 2 cars out there, Brian Greenlee and Paul Jenkins.
Yeah, even though he didn't qualify, it's still a good move up 10 spots. He does have a group of cars, like you said, starting with John Hill, all behind him, looking to move up. It's nice battles there. Paul Jenkins, Brandon coming up there.
We can afford to stay on this one a little bit as things are settling down up front. From what I can figure, I just don't think that Blocker's going to make a pass on Karam, even though he is so close, he can do it any time. He might sneak one in on us. Oh, let's go ahead and look at this one. This is Brian Carey. He might have missed his breaking point, was closing in on Bob Mikus. Kind of had a Spartacus moment, sacrificed himself, put it in the beach. Yeah, I think he had a lot of distance between him and Mikus. I think he just got a little bit aggressive going in there. I don't think he lost a position.
Didn't lose the position, but he definitely has some damage on that rear wing. He's going to have to get that fixed on that pit stop. Otherwise, that's really going to affect his speed.
Let's go up to the lead right now. Don't need to go there. In this report, David Altman had another off. Boy, he's had a rough day so far.
Boy, Adam Blocker is really putting the heat on Sage Karam. He's not just hanging around. He's right on the back of him. And I don't know if he's just trying to pressure him into a mistake or he's really going to try to make a move.
Pull back the curtain here at GSRC. This is really hard to commentate one of these when you have Blocker back there. Or I think he could make a move any moment. Boy, you saw him being really frisky. He drops back a couple car lanes now. Richie, I've done a lot of like MX5 races where saving fuel really matters. If you save a gallon, you save a lot of time in pit lane filling those cars up because they're so slow. Is that anything you think about out here where it's not really a fuel-saving race? Can you think about saving fuel and being faster in a pit stop, or is this so insignificant?
No, it is very significant. So, I mean, the easiest pass you're going to make is going to be in the pit. So, I mean, if you can save a couple of gallons by just cruising behind him, coasting in the corners, you know, that's all it takes in that pit stop. So, you're definitely thinking about it.
So, it's not going to save him the number of pit stops. He's still going to need 2, but the theory is it'll be a little shorter because he's not burning as much.
Exactly. So he'll just have a shorter, because you're always going to be waiting on the fuel. The tires go by fast or fast on and off. It's the fuel you're waiting for. So if you can just save a second, maybe a second and a half, sometimes that's all you need to make that jump. He did have a pass out there. Tyler Graf did get by Andrew Casella, I saw. I didn't know where it happened, but Andrew Casella is going to try to go by him again. So I don't know if Andrew made a mistake. He seems to be quicker of the two, but Tyler Graf
here he comes.
Is there, but here comes Andrew's going to just take that position to turn 1. Oh, side by side. Yeah, next corner is going to be Graf. Andrew's going to take the next part, and they're going to come up to that section. It's flat out over the hill.
Boy, that was some good racing, but all that did was let Brian Yazik get in the hunt now. He's watching back from 8th position, the blue car.
Yeah, and it definitely let George Sandman pull away as he's got some breathing space. So it is bringing Brian Yazik, and right behind him, we talked about him earlier, is Connor Harrington.
Back up front, he is pesky. He is annoying like a little sister. Adam Blocker continues.
Yeah, he is
tight
not letting him go.
No, not at all. Now about 2 car lengths back as they head down into the first corner. We just saw Kinsella try to make an attempt down there into corner number 1. Neither one of those drivers try it. I'll tell you. Blocker on Karam tighter than a new pair of shoes on a rainy day. Your points leader looking the way around Sage Karam.
I don't think we're going to see anything change unless Adam or unless Sage makes a mistake, and then we'll see what happens on that pit stop. And really, it'll come into play if Adam can make an extra lap, then it'll really make a difference on the second pit stop.
Director, let's go back to 19th again. Check back in on this bolster workman battle that we've been watching. Bart has not been able to get around Scott. John Hill, Brian Greenlee, continue watch on. Brandon Limkeman in the mix as well. Uh-oh. There's bolster going wide. Does he open the door for workman? Yeah, go a little wide, gets a good run out of that corner. Bolster able to hold him off. My spidey senses are tingling right here. I feel like I'm watching a drunk chase a balloon near a cliff. It's fun to watch, but you got a hunch that it's not going to end well. Going on here, this bolster workman battle with Hill in the mix.
Yeah, there's a bunch of cars here. It looks like Bolster's got a little bit of wing damage, so that might be holding them back. He'll be able to get that fixed on that first pit stop, but now he's just got to hold on to a hungry Bart Workman. And if he makes any mistake, he's not going to lose one. He's going to lose like 4 positions.
Oh, love that camera shot as they're coming right at you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as they go underneath.
As they go through turn 1, John Hill almost went off the track there. Got a little bit squirrely. Didn't lose the position, but definitely lost touch.
Let's go to Tyler Graff right now. He was just in front of Andrew Kinsella. Remember, Graff got around Kinsella. The car got loose. Havaketch did a good job of taking evasive action. No harm, no foul. They were battling for 5th, I think 6th perhaps, and there's the spin. He gets it going. We'll ride on board with Havaketch. That was Yazik and Connor Harrington able to get around. You be the driver. Go left, go right.
You just got to pick one. And Andrew picked the right one.
My rule of thumb is always try to go towards the nose of the car. Cars have a tendency to roll backwards in that kind of situation, but Kinsella made the right choice. And we have a pit stop from Kerry. Don't know if this is scheduled. It could be at the front of the window.
Yeah, it looks like he's coming in. Maybe he couldn't handle that rear wing, get that thing fixed.
Yeah, another driver who took a stop was our Bakerfield driver, Jason Galvin. I think that was a scheduled stop again. I think he's Cowden backwards. Take a look at this replay here with oh my goodness, that's James Brand who had the spin.
Boy, yeah, I'm watching Adam Blocker and Sage Karam. He couldn't get any closer to him. Oh, he just ran into the back of Sage. No harm, no foul, but he definitely hit him in the back.
Inches away. We have a replay of it. I'm not sure if we want to go there because you just don't know what Blocker is up to right now. I have 2 words for Adam Blocker to consider. Ghost contact. But, boy, he must feel not only comfortable on the track, but with his internet connection as well. And now we're going to be, as the gap stretches out a bit, now we'll take a look at this one. Richie, you saw it.
Yeah, they just came into that corkscrew area as they're coming in right there, and I was just watching him get closer and closer, and you can see he just runs into the back of him right there and just kind of gets him sideways. They keep going, but, man, Adam is not giving him any space.
It's just a little hello from the Dodger Blue Machine of Adam Blocker. More pit stops. The top 12 have not come in. Larkamp makes a stop. Tyler Groff making a stop right now. Let's go back up to the lead. Uh-oh. Blocker. Oh, look at this.
Sage is coming in.
Oh, he missed it. He went
That's
in
exactly
too hot,
what I was talking about. Remember, I said you come in a little fast and it tightens up. Fortunately, he's going to be able to get that front wing fixed, but it's going to take a little bit longer on that pit stop. He's going to lose the lead definitely, but here's kind of what I was pointing out. You come through this corner so fast, and then you can't get it slowed down, and you'll see it. It's a 90-degree corner there.
You ask yourself, why is Adam Blocker being so annoying? Why is he putting the pressure on Caramel? Rich, you got to figure that Sage was thinking, I got to get in and out. This has got to be a good pit stop. I cannot waste any time or I'm going to get passed. And I think it cost him, as we see everyone starting to make stops now.
Yeah, and Sage lost a position to Dan Guerin, I believe. Comes out just in front of Justin Weaver.
Indeed, Guerin was back in third position, I think.
Yeah, came into the pits and just beat him out, where Sage had to wait for that front wing to get fixed. So that's definitely going to open the door for Adam Blocker. He stays out for another lap, so all he's got to do is run clean, have a clean stop, and he's going to jump right into the lead.
Also staying out is his adrenaline teammate, Andrew Kinsella.
Oh, Andrew's in now.
No, now he's in. Now he's in. It was his long time getting to the...
Yep, Andrew's going to be in. Pretty standard stop. Adam's still continuing on. Dan Guerin will inherit second place after these round of pit stops here.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, unless Blocker has a horrible stop.
Yeah, unless Adam really screws it up, he's going to come out definitely in the lead and have a little bit of cushion as well, because they already had a 6 second gap on Dan before that incident.
All right, Blocker should be coming in this time. Oh, he has to actually look now. They are side by side down pit lane. Look at Brandon Limkeman, knows what's going on as he slows down and lets the leader go by. Nicely done, Brandon. He had Blocker to the inside. Limkeman had to get to his pit box first. Blocker is in.
Yeah, clean stop. Service getting done. Dan Guerin. Oh, Sage Karam is going by Dan Guerin at the moment.
Right at pit entrance.
And Adam Blocker is out. So put Sage back into second, but he's got quite a bit of gap.
Yeah, he gets some.
So right in that turn 14A area. And just kind of takes the inside. Clean pass. I think Dan knows that Sage is faster than him, so didn't fight him too hard about it.
And poor Brandon Limkeman, you saw him in pit lane side by side with Blocker. Well, he came out with Blocker right in the mix of everything. He took a really wide angle, kind of took it through the beach just to get away from everybody. Good job from Limkeman right now.
Curious to see what the gap is now going to be between Adam Blocker and Sage Karam there. 6.7 seconds, so man, that cost Sage a lot of time.
All right, all you little soldiers in Soup's clipboard army, get out your tools. Uh-oh. Bob Mikas has had an issue. Spins it right in front of James Brandt. Mikas was in 15th place. I think he's only going to lose one. Whee! So 6 points.
Somebody spun right in front of Adam Blocker. I don't know who it was. But
Yeah, they are spinning left and right. I wonder if maybe the pit stops are having some issues, as we had a spin out there from Bart Workman. 6.7 seconds, all you little soldiers. Mark that down on your clipboard. That's the interval between Blocker and Karam after the pit stop. I think Blocker was faster.
Yeah, I think so too. He had no problem. He was putting in fast laps even behind Sage.
Joe Branch and Big Joe Hassard. Was this fairly recent? I think so. Oh yeah, just happened, director. This is not sure where Joe was going on this one. It's the pedal on the left. And I'm talking about Joe Branch.
Whoa, that was a pretty big hit. You see Andrew had to cut through the grass a little bit to miss that.
Right on board with Branch. Bow! You know what? It's a closing right there, and it looked like maybe Branch missed his braking point, but now our director is thinking that maybe Hassard broke early.
Yeah, in that corner there's really almost no braking, so I mean, it's like a little bit of a lift, maybe a little bit of a brake, but it's not a heavy braking zone, so maybe he forgot kind of where he was on the track. That's a really fast section. Meanwhile, Adam Blocker going through all his traffic, he's lost some time to Sage. Sage has closed it up to 5.2. So he's not giving up. He's pushing hard.
Indeed, but all the work that Blocker had to do getting around Jason Galvin and Scott Bolster, well, he's got that in his rearview mirror now, but that lays ahead of Sage Karam. Race control coming over saying, everybody settle down. Let's keep our chat down. Getting a little too chatty out there. Let's drop back and look at sixth position. This is Kinsella. Oh, my goodness. That's Brian Yozik in the mist. And how about Connor Harrington? I haven't talked about him in a while.
Yeah, and Andrew, look at his front wing. It is really messed up. So he's had some contact with somebody. He's got a long way to go before he pits again. He's going to have to suffer with that for a while.
The driver that is missing out of that group before the pit stop, I believe, was Tyler Groff. But Groff now is back behind Goodman. This is a fun one.
Yeah.
And we look here. Meanwhile, we don't need to go there. Blandon Limkeman has had an off. It's a rough day for him. Look at Yozik working on the back of Havakech.
Yeah, Andrew's wing is destroyed, so he's really struggling with some understeer there. I think Brian's going to get him right here, right into this turn 5. And they've got Connor Harrington right behind him trying to take that position as well.
Harrington started in 11th, up 3 spots. This is a good battle. Don't need to go there. This report, well, you can see it up on the tower there that Karam real close to getting it under 5 seconds now. Keep an eye on that digit right there to the left of Sage Karam, the number 2 slot on that tower.
Yeah, I just think a little bit of traffic catching them at the right time. Their last laps were almost exactly the same, 106.4s. So I just think it comes down to where you catch that lap traffic and how easy it is to get by them.
A little farther back, there is Tyler Groff we talked about, trying to get to Michael Goodman. Goodman having a quiet day, down a couple spots from where he started. Let's go ahead and take a look at Michael Goodman. He is our spotlighted driver. You can see there as we bring that up in a minute. We'll talk a little bit about Michael. You can see his starts. How about wins? Still looking for one. It is coming. Might come this season. Additional notes on Mike. He's completed 10,642 miles. 36 all-time heading into Barber. He's got 149 laps led. That's a nice number. I'm not sure I have 149 laps led in my entire iRacing career. Congratulations for Michael Goodman surviving the pressure of the spotlight. Let's go to 4th position. This is Dan Garrett. Oh, Connor Harrington had an issue. We'll take a look at this one. He gets the left side. Nice save.
Yeah, very nice save. Just lost some track position. Lost a couple of spots there.
Okay, so now let's go up to 3rd position if we can, and we're looking at Garrett working his way around Scott Bolster. That's the lap car. When we were last here, this was a little closer. Weaver was back in behind. Weaver now working on Bolster as well. That might slow Weaver down a little bit, and that could let, well, that's Jason Galvin back there. He's in 21st position. He's in a battle with Bolster. So 2 sets of cars on different agendas. Weaver racing about 3 seconds ahead of George Sandman, who's having a quiet race. Sandman started in 5th, racing in 5th.
Yeah, the driver really struggling right now is Andrew Kinsella. Brian Yazik has passed him, opened up 3 seconds. And right now, Kinsella's got Goodman, Groff, Larkamp, Connor Harrington all creeping up to him. So he's really struggling with that front wing, and he's got a long ways to go before he has to change it. Meanwhile, up front, Adams opened up that gap again to about 5.7 seconds. So, kind of going back and forth depending on the lap traffic.
My director just gives me a note. I have 145 laps led in my iRacing career. Only 4 back of our spotlighted driver. That gives me inspiration. I'm getting out on the track. Michael Goodman's not going to get the best of me. I want to talk about the top 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how they grid up. Blocker, Karam, Garen, Weaver, and Sandman. That's how they race right now. First driver to make any progress in the top 10 is the race done by Brian Yazik, up 3 spots. Well done, Brian.
Yeah, Brian's done a good job, and he's cleared Andrew, kind of doing his thing. Next person up on his agenda would be Sandman. But really, I want to go back to Andrew if we can. And Michael Goodman is all over the back of him. So, like I said, he's really struggling. You can see that pack of cars right there. That's just not one, but that's 3 cars, 4 cars looking to get by him.
One more pit stop still in the mix here, boys and girls, before this race shows the gingham flag.
If we can go 21 laps, then Andrew just has to hang on for about 3 more, 2 to 3 more. But he is really struggling. His lap times are a healthy 2 seconds off of what Adam Blocker is doing right now. And there goes Goodman on to the inside, turn 5. Ooh, looked like Tyler Groff clipped the back of Goodman, and that screwed it all up. So Andrew's going to get that spot back.
That is a fun battle.
As they drop in through the corkscrew there, leading on to this back stretch right along the museum.
What makes this interesting is maybe the fastest driver out of all of them, Connor Harrington, is back 5th in line back there. He's recovering from that spin.
Ooh, Tyler Graff got hit just a little bit by Steven Larkamp. These guys are really driving hard. Here comes Connor Harrington on. Looks like he's going to go by Steven Larkamp, and he does. Tries to hold that position in turn 1.
Yeah, Larkamp lost a little momentum, and he loses that spot.
And here comes Michael Goodman. One more try into the turn, and not quite going to get there. That's going to hold him up. Here comes Tyler Groff, going to try to make a move on Goodman into this real tricky section, the corkscrew. When you drive that section of the track, you can't see anything going into it. You got to be in the right spot, otherwise you're going to go right off the track.
Director, let's go back, touch real quick on 12th position, real quick. I haven't talked about these guys. A couple guys in the battle, Brian Beard and the Candyman Dustin Wardlow. Wardlow closing in as they go through the final corner.
And we're closing in on that magic number there. 21 laps to go. We'll see who's going to take that early stop. Michael Goodman. I keep watching this battle. Once again, he's going to... Oh, there's a big wreck right behind him. If we can go back to that. I think it's Tyler Groff and Steven Larkamp, I think, got together.
Yep.
And then Tyler spun again, trying to get going.
Poor Tyler. He did.
Yeah.
He got a shot to the gearbox.
Yeah, it was kind of eventually going to happen. They were all so close and kind of stacking up on each other. They'd already hit each other once before lightly, and this time you can see he comes in a little bit hot.
If we stay on it here, he gets it going, and whoops.
All right, Adam's going to stay out one more lap, or Andrew's going to stay out one more lap. And he's got Connor Harrington. Connor Harrington's basically back to where he was before he made that mistake earlier. He's going to get the run on him coming up the hill. Should be able to make this pass. Well, he's not going to try. He's going to just hang tight. Don't need to go up here, but Adam Blocker's opened up an almost 6-second gap now on Sage Karam, so he's just holding steady. Everybody's staying out for another lap. Who will be our first taker?
You know, you talked about the gap between our two leaders, Blocker and Karam. In between them, as we have a pit stop coming in, can we put the camera on Bob Mikas? He just went a lap down. He's on our Sam Maxwell onboard camera car. You know, every wheel is custom built, one at a time, for the drivers who will be using it. Sam Maxwell Custom works hard to deliver the wheel you want, designed and configured with the controls that suit you. A large assortment of options to choose from that allow you the perfect wheel. Does it take a little bit longer? Yeah. Does it cost a little bit more? Sometimes. However, you get something that looks and feels the way you want it and suits your needs exactly. Whether you're a professional race car driver looking to create a wheel to match your race car, or just a sim racer looking to get that extra edge, Sam Maxwell Customs strives to bring you ultimate steering wheel solutions. What do we got?
Did he just go all the way through the pit stop? I missed that. I think Steven Larkamp missed his stall and had to keep going because you can't reverse.
And now we look at fourth position. Now we're missing somebody. We thought that Justin Weaver should be there, but
Yeah,
he is not.
He's got some damage on his front wing, so he has definitely had an incident.
It happened right at the end of this lap. The car got loose, and oh, this is a shot. Coming up here.
Looks like just a single car incident.
Yep.
Yep, there he goes. Hits the wall, wrecks the front wing. Fortunately, he can come in and fix that. Andrew Kinsella has just come in, fixed his front wing. He's going to get back out there. Sage Karam is in the pits. So once again, he's coming in. He's coming clean this time, though. He didn't make that mistake twice. But he's coming in before Adam Blocker. And this is kind of where I was talking about, you know, Adam saving that fuel, going a little bit longer. He's going to have a shorter pit stop when he does come in.
So Karam really the first of our front runners to take 2 stops. Larkamp took one, but he'll have some issues with repairs.
Yeah, Larkamp actually missed his stall, so he has to come back in.
And now the Moby Dickey's machine comes in after he had his incident. That was funny. The director and I were both going to the battle between Weaver and Sandman. When we got there, Weaver wasn't there. Yeah, that's spin.
So, Adam's going around one more time. Sage Karam is back on track. Dan Guerin inherits second place. He's... Oh, no.
Sage Karam.
Karam.
He was right behind Brian Carey. Didn't hit anything. Going around him was Scott Bolster, Bart Workman, Samuel Ryman. Those weren't for positions. Karam comes right back out on track ahead of Michael Goodman. So Karam, after bouncing it off the pit lane wall and now another spin, he's still doing relatively well. Sandman makes his stop.
Yeah, Sage has got to worry about Dan Guerin at this point. So, you know, he's lost a lot of track space. Dan hasn't taken his pits or his second stop. So when Dan does come in, that will be the clue or the key to see where that ends up being on the racetrack.
I tell you, Blocker had 2 cars in front of him, Brandt and Rigney. They both made a stop. Let me correct myself.
And
it was Brandt and Lark.
Is in. Oh, Dan Guerin did exactly what Sage did coming into the pits. He missed the turn, hit the wall.
Sure did.
He's going to be able to fix the car, but it's going to cost him the time in the pits fixing that front wing. All that advantage is going to be gone.
Man, this was a good hit, too.
Just exactly what Sage did on that first pit stop. Once again, you're coming in fast here, trying to make up that time, and it sneaks up on you.
So we come back live. Guerin is the leader. Karam is going to go around him. Guerin gets there first. Guerin is still in the pits.
I'm noticing some damage on Jordan Sandman. His front wing is all messed up, so he's had an incident somewhere on track. He made his pit stop, so I don't know what happened out there. Seems like, I don't know if they're having problems with the tires getting up to temp, because it seems like all our incidents come right after the pit stops.
Chris Lanini making a stop. Let's go to our leader real quick. This is Adam Blocker as he's trying to work around Brian Yazik as we look there at the pit stops. There he gets that made. That's Yazik now taking the wide line is Paul Jenkins. That lets Yazik go through, as does Blocker. Blocker's got a big enough cushion now, especially with another mistake from Karam and then Guerin putting it in the wall. Adam can just take it easy. Just a little bit farther behind Yazik is his battle for 8th position. Harrington with a good run and a punt into the back of Sandman. That was a good run, but you tried to go right through him. I guess this depends on your point of view, whether one car going too fast, one car going too slow. Yeah. At that part of the track, you gotta figure it was on corner exit that it had to something to involve the car in front, and Sandman brings his car in.
Yeah, he's got a lot of damage to that front of the car. He's going to have to get it fixed. Meanwhile, Adam Blocker still is out there.
You talked about Sandman having trouble. That probably explains why he was so off the pace there. Caught Harrington by surprise. So a 3rd stop for the Sandman. Still waiting for a 2nd stop from our point leader and race leader, Adam Blocker. fact, everybody has made all their scheduled pit stops except for Blocker, who does it right now.
Nice and clean into the pit lane. All he has to do is stop in his box, get back out, and the race is pretty much going to be his.
Sage Karam literally a half lap behind.
Yeah, and he did get back by Dan Guerin after Dan had to make that repair. It might not have been as close as I thought it was, but definitely didn't help.
Blocker in.
And then earlier we talked about Larkamp missing his pit stall. He actually had to have a drive-through penalty, so that's why he had to come in for that extra stop.
And Blocker is back out in front with about an 8-second lead. Let's call it 9.5 over Karam.
Yeah, all he's got to do is stay clean, get through the lap traffic clean. Sage is not going to be able to catch him. They're both running about the same lap times once they're up to full song. Guerin doing a good job running in third after his bad run at Indy, so he'll be happy with those points.
Let's go to Sage Karam just about 20 seconds ago. He did a little Danny Sullivan. Let's see if our director can find it. It was this lap. Yep, this is it coming up. This is fun. Whee! That'll get you some good style points. He's going to want to take his girlfriend Abby dancing. You didn't know he had those kind of moves, did you? Looking back in 7th position.
Yeah, right in front of them, too, for 5th and 6th is Connor Harrington. Michael Goodman took a run at Connor a second ago, but two good battles here, 5th and 6th, 7th and 8th.
You know, we don't get to talk much about Paul Jenkins, but I'll say one thing for Jenkins. He gets out of the way really well. If you see him at one of our Backmarkers United meetings, get him the comfortable chair up front. As he gets out of the way, lets Wardlow and Weaver go by. Justin Wardlow.
Race is going by, I was going to say, race is going by pretty quickly here. We still have, we only have 10 cars on the lead lap, though. So Andrew Casella holding that 10th spot. So Adam's just been plowing through everybody.
This is another fun one. This is Harrington, who should pull away from Goodman. We've been watching Harrington work his way through the field, 11th position now, up to 5th.
Yeah, and he did have a little incident early on, so he's had to make up some positioning, some tracks position, so he's done a good job getting back up into that top 5. Also give credit to Dustin Wardlow, 14th to 7th as well.
There's a few of them. Let's follow that trend. Brian Yosik has a quiet 4th position. I'm not sure if I've actually seen Brian pass anybody on the track. Maybe he'll come in and talk to us after the race.
Yeah, we only passed. I saw him pass Andrew Kinsella when he's having that. We had that wing issue, but other than that, he's been pretty quiet.
Sleepy Lanini up 9 spots as well. 10 cars on the lead lap. The last one being Andrew Kinsella. Adrenaline Motorsports Red bookending the lead lap cars with Blocker in front and Andrew Kinsella in 10th. Ten laps to go. No more pit stops. Let's find ourselves some type of story to talk about here, something we can look at. We look at the intervals. That Wardlow-Weaver battle it's been kind of fun to watch. In 7th spot, I think Wardlow might be faster. What's interesting is it's only about 2 seconds up to the Harrington-Goodman battle. So those guys race back there.
Yeah, got another battle here. Back in 14th spot with James Branch, Damon Martinez, and Samuel Ryman doing a good job up to 16th from 22nd position, even though they're a lap down. These guys have been nose to tail for a while, watching them a little bit.
Well, that includes our top rookie, Damon Martinez, although he's going to have to up his game now that Sage is back. We're looking to get pretty good points here today.
And then right behind them, not too far away, Bob Mike is trying to hold off Tyler Graff and George Salmon, coming back with a clean front wing, trying to make up some time that he lost. These two guys are a little bit faster than Bob Makis, but Bob's doing a good job holding them off at the moment.
Yeah, let's look at this. Is a fun one because you got Micahs, then you got two big names back here. You got Tyler Graff and also George Sandman. Both of these guys are probably faster than the Von Hansen's meat machine right now. They work around John Hill. Oh, this is getting messy. Hill in a battle with Ron Hacker for 25th. Boy, I tell you, that is one frustrating thing when you're a back marker and you're racing your rear end off, as Hill was doing with Ron Hacker, and then the lead lap cars or cars that are a lap ahead of you come around, and you just got to kind of bite the bullet. Let him by.
Yeah.
Okay. Andrew Kinsella looks like he just got around Brian Beard.
Yep, got around Brian Beard, but right behind him is his teammate Adam Blocker coming up to lap him. But here's the pass on screen. Nicely done. Nice clean pass. Got a really good run into that section. Didn't really have to outbrake him too much. Just kind of take his normal line. But you can see right there in the distance, that is the leader, Adam Blocker.
You know, we talk a lot about team rules. Here's a good place for team rules where Blocker has this thing locked up. Let me finish on the lead lap. They come up behind my favorite back marker, Paul Jenkins. Let's go ahead and stay on Paul Jenkins for a minute. Folks, this is how you do it. Here they come. Paul takes the car wide, and he lets them through. Easy speasy, lemon squeezy. Well done, Paul. You are really good at going slow. With that said, Kinsella goes a lap down. I offer that comment to Jenkins out of respect, not out of sounded like an insult, but it really wasn't. Come on, we're a brotherhood, baby. We know. He knows. Our director wants us to look at 5th position, and sure enough, this is good. Jason Galvin, a lap down, leads this train. But that just makes it more interesting as Harrington and Goodman come up behind Galvin.
Yeah, Galvin having a rough race here. Started 19th and only running 20th, so not his usual pace. So struggling a little bit here, but he has definitely he's got two guys battling for 5th and 6th spot. Not going to be too patient, I don't think. Connor Harrington, he's got a lot of work holding off Michael Goodman at the moment. And then right behind them, Dustin Wardlow and Justin Weaver still battling it out hard for that 7th and 8th spot.
Talk about Michael Goodman. He's got one of our onboard cameras for minus 273. Let me give a quick plug to them. You know about their gloves. It's an interesting leading gloves. They are super lightweight and durable, made out of breathable poly spandex. Whether you're a kart or sim racer, minus 273 gives you control to reach victory lane. For more information, minus 273 full line of gloves and apparel. Visit minus273.biz. Hey, they got a promo code LHRS for 25% off your order. Right now, see those gloves right there? Goodman's wearing them. You saw that onboard camera. Sage Karam now. His day is done, and it's a violent ending.
Oh, no. He was running an easy second spot and just overdrive the car a little bit and loses it onto the front stretch and a huge hit. There's no coming back from that. So that's unfortunate for the championship because he was looking to start moving up. Promote Dan Garrett up to second now. Yeah, that's a big, big hit right there. Got some air time.
Damon Martinez, our rookie point leader, back in 14th position, taking note of Karam's issues. 4 laps to go.
7 cars on the lead lap only. So Adam Blocker's destroying the field at the moment. He's got a healthy 41-second gap on Dan Guerin. That is almost, well, it's only a minute 5 seconds around, so he's only 20 seconds behind of lapping him.
Let's go to 4th right now because those 4 drivers, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, are about to be lapped right now. They're having fun. Harrington just got around the lapped car of Jason Galvin. Galvin gets out of the way now, and he lets the final car through of Justin Weaver. The other 2 cars that got through are Michael Goodman and Wardlow. So I set the stage for you. Harrington in 4th, Goodman in 5th, Wardlow in 6th, Weaver in 7th. It won't be long until Adam Blocker gets there. Not sure if Adam's going to get there, to be truthful. Good racing. Best battle on the track right now, especially with Karam having issues. Guerin in 2nd, Brian Yasek with the quietest podium finish you'll ever see from a driver. Well done, Brian. Luckily, Yasek is never short for words, so when he comes in to talk to us, we'll find out everything that happened during his race.
And on screen, you might have seen that Adam Blocker has put in the fastest lap of the race with only 3 to go, so he's not giving up. He is in a one hell of a rhythm at the moment.
And that is truly salt in the wound to the rest of these drivers out there. Whose car are we on? Well, just look at that wing. It's Connor Harrington. See, viewers, I asked you that question so you can answer.
Yeah, this battle's pretty tight here. I've been watching Connor. He's sliding that thing around. I mean, he's driving it with everything he's got. Michael Goodman has him in his sights, but he has to worry about Wardlow and Weaver as well. So it's a pretty tight battle for that 4th position. One mistake, and you're going to lose a few spots that you've worked hard to earn.
There is one element to keep in mind that we just don't know about, and that is the dreaded push to pass. We have no idea who's got what left here. Boy, this is a fun battle, though, as they race nose to tail, nose to tail, nose to tail, nose. Getting out of the way, Mike Rigney lets all 4 cars go by. Well done, Michael. I think Harrington might be the fastest of the 4s. He seems pretty comfortable.
Yeah, he's able to pull out a little bit of gap. He'll make like little mistakes every now and then and get a little sideways and kind of bring it back, but he's definitely got the faster car.
Yeah, I'm not sure if these guys aren't lined up in order of speed right now, and the reason they are so close is sometimes they run up on the back of traffic. Dustin Wardlow trying to make me a liar as he continues to work on Michael Goodman as they head down into the 1st corner. Right behind these guys, going across the line right now, is our leader, Adam Blocker, and he sees the white flag. He works through corner number 3. 13 more corners for Blocker before he picks up another win and increases his lead to Dan Guerin. Boy, Guerin doing all that he can, finishing 2nd, except beating Blocker.
Oh, no. Connor Harrington just blew the corkscrew, jumped through it. He still holds in front of these guys. But he just went airborne. Yeah. Now he's got Michael Goodman.
We have time to stay on this one. I'm surprised he didn't get a slowdown penalty, but he did not. He goes off the grass again. Holy moly.
It's kind kind of what I was saying. He's got the faster car, but he's making little mistakes, kind of bringing these guys back in and stacking them all up for the white flag.
Right behind these guys is our leader, Adam Blocker. He comes out of the final corner, and he gets the win. Dan Guerin is going to get second, and Brian Yosick, let's assume he's going to get third. So now we can turn our attention back to Connor Harrington and these guys who have a complete lap to go.
Yeah, he's pulled a gap. Dustin Wardlow just got in the back of Michael Goodman a little bit and kind of pushed him sideways. So Connor Harrington's got this made as long as he doesn't make a mistake. The battle's going to be between Goodman, Wardlow, and Weaver.
There is another battle that our director has found back here with Micus.
Yeah, he's been hanging on for a long time to those guys. Those guys are really fast drivers, but they couldn't get by him. So nicely done for Bob.
And he does get that win. Okay. As that crosses the line, that ends his race. Now we go back to 5th position. Harrington has pulled away. This is the one guy who I thought had a chance at it. This is Wardlow behind Goodman. Out of the final corner. Harrington gets 4th. Goodman gets 5th. Wardlow gets 6th. The Moby Dickey's machine of Justin Weaver will have to settle for 7th. That is the last car on the lead lap, and that means the racing is done here in Alabama. The competition is over, but our broadcast is not. We'll take a short break. We'll come back to run down the entire finishing order, talk to some of the drivers. Can't wait to do that. Before we put a lock on the gate, don't go far. You're watching GSRC on IESN.
The SimPit is an entertainment channel dedicated to the world of simulated motorsports. The SimPit is a leader in providing the sim racing community with news, reviews, interviews, DIY pieces, and instructional videos to make sim racing a better experience for all. Check us out at thesimpit.com or go to YouTube and just search for The SimPit.
Welcome back to the minus 273 Grand Prix of Barber and the Plasma Tracks Victory Lane post-race show. Hey, if you're like me and you got that person that you're struggling to find something for that just seems to have everything, I've got the website for you. Plasma-Tracks.com not only produces original racetrack wall art, motorsports trophy home decor and motorsports fabrications are also available. I can tell you right now, as I'm going to ad-lib a bit, they came up with a trophy to give as they had their meeting. You know, everyone met in Iowa for this big meeting. They made themselves, for Justin Weaver, came home with the championship trophy for what they called, what was the game? Was it cornhole they were playing? He won the championship of some type of game, won it in a rainstorm. It was very good. Anyway, the trophy that he got came from Plasma-Tracks.com. So as I go off script, it's not just wall art, it's all sorts of stuff you can get made, like motor auto parts or all sorts of stuff they can do. I don't know. Check them out. As I never should go off script. I'm telling you, it's where you want to go. So here's the important thing you want to know. LRS 2019, that gets you 25% off your order. Okay, thank you very much. Now let's go to 100% of the finishing order of the minus 273 Grand Prix of Barber. Adam Blocker is your winner. Dan Guerin was second. Brian Yosick was third. A really quiet finish for Yosick. Connor Harrington, boy, that was exciting. He comes home ahead of Michael Goodman, Dustin Wardlow, and Justin Weaver. Those are the only 7 cars on the lead lap. The first 3 cars, 1 lap round, have to catch Kinsella Andrew in 7th, Brian Beard, and Chris Lanini. Richie?
Yep, coming home in 11th spot be Steven Larkamp. Brian Carey in 12th. Damon Martinez, kind of a quiet night for him as well, 13th. James Brandt, 14th. Samuel Ryman doing a good job from 22nd to 15th. Bob Mikas, great job holding off these last 2 guys. He finished 16th. And Tyler Groff, George Sandman, 17th, 18th. Jason Galvin, 19th. And Bart Workman in 20th.
Maybe you're having a blackjack tournament at your house. You want a trophy for that? Plasma-Tracks.com. Talking about blackjack, well, John Hill finished in the 21st position. Scott Bolster in the double duck spot. 23rd, 24th, 25th, Ron Hacker, Mike Rigney, and Paul Jenkins. Hey, Paul, nicely done. 3 laps down. 26th was Brandon Limkeman. George Anzaldo. Sage Karam was up in front, was racing in second. Looked like it was his until he put it in the wall on the front straight. Brian It's Not Easy being Greenlee and Big Joe Hassard go 30th and 31st. Joe Branch is in the mix back there as well. David Altman, Isaiah Dupree, Tony Schowen, Ken Hacker, and I think that's the end of the drivers that actually took the grid. All right, with that horrible plug read for Plasma Tracks out of the way, I can't tell you how much I do appreciate their work. Check them out at plasma-tracks.com. We're going to talk to our race winner. It is Adam Blocker. Adam, well done. Let's go to the early part of the race. My gosh, you were annoying on the back of that kid.
Yeah, first, I put in a really good lap to get pole. I was really proud with that. And then, yeah, Sage just, I got kind of bad run through turn 2 on the first lap, kind of lost the rear a little bit and checked me up, and then defended on the inside of Charlotte's Web, and then Sage ended up making a really good pass around the outside of Museum Corner. I definitely didn't think he was going to make that stick, but I gave him room because I thought I had a little pace advantage, or even if I didn't, you know, basically at that point, whoever has pace advantage, in my opinion, was going to win. But yeah, so then the first stint, yeah, I was a little bit faster, and so I was all over the back of him the whole time. But it's Barber, so really you have to have a major pace advantage to be able to pass. Ultimately, I mean, it's a game of patience. I was just gonna wait. I was happy to wait for the pit cycle because normally I'm better on fuel than most people, so I was planning on going an extra lap and jumping him in the stops. And then, yeah, I mean, obviously I was gonna take a chance if I got it though, and I got close a few times, so just trying to pressure him into a mistake. He did really good not to make a mistake because I was inches off of his rear wing several times. But yeah, then stayed out a couple extra laps and jumped him. I don't know how he got so far back, 7 seconds. But yeah, from there it was he applied pressure in the second stint. Went from it was like 5 second gap the whole time, and getting through traffic was tough. But yeah, and it was pretty much cruising at the end of the race. So yeah,
that pressure you put on him, that put him in the outside wall during pit entry. That's where he picked up that time. That's a tricky pit entry.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just like the rest of the track, it's technical, and the weird thing is coming into that last right left on the regular track, there's no braking markers really. It's hard to get a reference point for where to brake, and the same goes for pit lane, and it's even trickier because you only do it, like once or twice a race. So, and you can gain so much time on the pit end that it's really tempting to push it hard. So, yeah, I definitely made sure to practice pit end more than normal for this track. So, because I knew it'd be important.
Get you out here on this question. The reason you could go farther, you had the pace with Karam, so it's not like you were going any slower. Is it because you were behind him, saving fuel? Does that make you get that extra lap, or are you just smooth?
That definitely helped a little bit, just because I think typically I was getting like 3.25 mpg in clean air, and I was getting like 3.35 in dirty air. But I think I could have done 20 laps anyway because I don't really trail brake that much, so that normally means I'm pretty good on fuel. I kind of let the car roll through the corner and get on the power early. Compared to like guys like my teammate Kinsella is always like much worse on fuel economy, just like when he's pushing, than I am, just because he trail brakes well into the corner.
That was a great answer. I love learning stuff. That was really cool. Thanks for that, Adam. Hey, congratulations on another win. You pick up a few more points on Garen. He did all he could. He finished the second. Good luck down the rest of the way.
Yeah, he did a good job to finish second. Unfortunately, not as many points as I hoped, but I'll definitely take the win. See you guys at Monza.
There you go, Adam Blocker. Another win from him. Richie, who you got?
Yeah, it looks like we got Dan Garen, our second place finisher, and Dan, kind of a quiet second place there. Didn't have quite the pace for those top two guys, but I'm sure you're pleased with that finish compared to the last race that you ran.
Yeah, we'll just forget Indy 500 ever happened. I was pretty thrilled that I was actually on the pole there for a short time, and then both of them ended up getting ahead of me there, so I ended up starting third and just got ahead of Weaver, and Weaver was on me for most of the race there. I'm not sure what happened to him because next thing I know, he's not on me. He's like 7-8 seconds behind me, so I don't know if he spun or something, but that last pit stop there, I'm sure you guys saw what happened and came in a little bit too hot and smoked the wall. Luckily, it was only a 5-second wing repair, and I was on my way.
Yeah, actually, Sage did the exact same thing as you did on the first spot. He came in hot and smacked the wall, and he had to sit there and fix his front wing. So that's how that all happened. And yeah, we did unfortunately see that. And we were just talking with Adam about how tricky that is. And you're trying to make up time, and there's really no reference points to knowing when to slow down for that.
No, there's not really. I didn't practice it a whole lot, but I knew that I could safely enter it. But as soon as you got around either corner, the top of the hill or bottom of the hill, if you gave it too much gas, it would kick out on you. And that happened to me last night twice.
Well, I mean, you still got to be happy with that second place finish. Lost a couple of points to Adam, but gained some points on Andrew. I also want to point out, I saw a lot of great pictures of you guys at iOS. It looked like you guys had a great time there.
Oh, that was a blast. Some of these guys that I've never met before, they're good individuals there. Like Paul Jenkins, Altman, Blocker and I chit-chatted for a while there during the storm. We kind of hunkered down inside the truck there and let them guys play cornhole back there. But we chit-chatted for a while there, and he's a pretty cool guy. He's wish he'd give me some speed secrets. So.
Yeah, he was definitely fast. Yeah, it's always fun to kind of put a face to the people you race with. So that's very cool. Well, nicely done there, Dan. Just one more thing before we let you go. Anybody you like to thank?
Yeah, of course. Got to thank my my family. Got to thank my teammates, Synergy Motorsports there. Lock Precision, Dave Barber, Scott Rupp, Midwest Simulations, and Tyler Graff of Graphic.
That's awesome. So we'll see you next race. There you go, Soup, our second place finisher, Dan Garen.
Thanks.
Good job from him. And now I get the honor of talking to our third place finisher. It's Brian Yosek. I'm so glad it's Brian because he had one of those races where you look and say, oh, look, Yosek's in 7th. Oh, look, he's in 6th. Brian, next thing I know, you're in 3rd. Not sure how you did it. Tell us about it.
I'm not sure either. I like, I knew tonight was going to be a challenge. Kind of took the approach of when we raced at Belle Isle and just said, all right, I'm going to focus on the racetrack. And I'm going to focus on keeping all 4 tires as much on the road as I can. But more importantly, the car facing forward. And because anyway, I had nothing top 5 overall speed. I wasn't going to go up there and pass him. But, you know, we just kept in our wheelhouse and kept his HPP simulation, Loud Pedal Motorsports machine pointed the right direction and capitalized on other people's misfortunes. So I'm not going to complain too much about that.
Richie swears he saw you pass Kinsella. I didn't see you pass anybody on the track. Did you actually pass for a position on the track this race? Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
We had the setup was funny because I felt like the setup would kind of pick and choose what it wanted to do. Like sometimes it would oversteer and sometimes it would understeer and kind of stuff like that. I was running a lot of front brake, and I'm a heavy braker with these big HPP pedals, you know, underneath my feet. Anyway, so I had a lot of front brake dialed into it, and I was working on something. I found something on Tuesday night. A good way to pass people into I called it the spider web corner because there's that big old metal spider out there. No, I caught Kinsella a couple spots. Yeah, I was passing some lap cars and stuff like that. So we were able to get where we needed to be.
I figured you passed some lap cars. All right, man. Congratulations on the win. If you don't love a Brian Yazek interview, there's something wrong with you guys. Well to go, Brian. Congratulations.
Absolutely. Thanks for hanging out. I'm going to be here the rest of the year now, so that's going to be cool. I started a new job back in April, so that's why I've been here and not there and stuff like that. But we'll be here and see if we can't get back into the top 10 in points and keep these Loud Pedal Motorsport guys going forward. I feel bad for Jason. Feel great for Chris. He was 10th. He snuck in there like an assassin. Feel bad for Jason. He probably had top 5, top 10 speed, and just luck didn't go his way, and he's going to blame me for it because it was something I told him to do, and he ended up spinning out because of it. So, oh well, take some blame.
All right. Congratulations on the podium. Good luck the rest of the way. Glad to see you back in the series full time.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Brian Yazek, our 3rd place finisher today. I think that's going to wrap it up for us here on the Global Sim Racing channel on the IESN. So with that said, let's go ahead and thank some people that made this possible. How about First Medical Equipment? They've been the source of medical supplies and equipment in the Burlington, Iowa area for years because of their superior commitment to provide the absolute best in product quality and customer service. Mr. Hearn?
Sim Experience, the team behind the AccuForce Pro V2 direct drive steering systems. By providing unparalleled realism and the most advanced tuning features on the market, the AccuForce provides a significant advantage to any sim racer. It can also make for an effective training tool for real-world drivers. For more information on the entire Sim Experience ecosystem, including their GS5 seat, Stage Series motion systems, and Sim5 software, visit www.simexperience.com. They also have a promo code here, SimXLion, to get 5% off Sim5 software.
And now I'm going to talk about the Butt Kicker. You know, their products add instant immersion to any game. Unlike a subwoofer that moves air and loses accuracy and force, Butt Kicker products move actual mass, producing a haptic immersion that's powerful and accurate. Butt Kicker products add that missing drive-to-car connection, bringing more realism and immersion to your sessions. See all the family of Butt Kicker products at thebuttkicker.com. Use this promo code. It's Lion25 to get 25% off your order.
To contact any of the sponsors you see on the screen right now, go to LionheartRacingSeries.com, click on 2018 sponsors, read or scroll to the bottom where you can click on the company logo. The iconic original music that lets your ears alert your eyes. You're watching a GSRC production comes courtesy of June Lalonde. See the screen for how to contact her. On the screen now are just some of the company's equipment and software that made this broadcast possible. The Lionheart IndyCar Series returns in 4 weeks, August 21st, for round 14 for Monza. That'll be interesting. GSRC and IESN will be there to bring you all the action. We hope you join us.
Sliding across your screen right now like a fried egg on a well-greased Teflon pan are some of our upcoming broadcasts, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. As I look at that, apparently they don't slide. I've been saying sliding forever. They fade in and out. Let's get that out of the script. Keep going, Soup. If you'd like more information about GSRC, including a complete list of future broadcasts, you can find those at globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_Graham. And while you're here, if you haven't done so yet, well, you're not here. Go on over to our YouTube page and hit our big red button so you can become a YouTube subscriber of GSRC. Finally, on behalf of the entire crew, that would be Richie, Jed, and Dougie, I'd like to thank, and don't forget the Professor and Marianne. I'd like to thank all of you for watching, as we did see Adam Blocker pick up another win here in the -273 Grand Prix of Barber. With that said, we're off to have fun, storm the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.